You're watching Foxx Gaming, and here's your host with the most fun, Foxx. Hi everyone, I'm Foxx, your host with the most fun. Your older, balder Asmongold. No, just kidding. Some people like that intro when I was trying to be funny, but I don't know. Welcome to a new segment of Getting Good, right? There, right? Why I like Dark Souls 2 this time. So to start off, a lot of people consider this the awkward middle child of Dark Souls. But I, myself, personally, I just want to get off the bat that I consider it the Dark Souls of Dark Souls. That's why it's called Dark Souls 2. No. But I want to share my experiences. And if you missed out on my first video, why I like Souls-likes, I go into Elden Ring with Chapter 1. And then Chapter 2, I did Dark Souls 1. I'm doing these in order of the Souls-like that I played in order of. So I did start with Elden Ring. So if you want to hear me talk mainly about that, go watch that video, why I like Souls-likes. And then I went to Dark Souls 1 because I wanted to get to the technical beginning. I wasn't too aware of Demon Souls at the time, but that's fine. So Dark Souls 2 is quite a bit of a different beast, isn't it? It's one of those games that really just gets down to preferences. Is it difficult? Yes, all Souls-likes are. All Dark Souls games are difficult to a degree. Are they ball-bustingly hard like retro games? That's debatable, but, you know, it is what it is. What I liked about Dark Souls 2, especially that separates it from the others, is the use of torch mechanics. I find this to be a very cool and integral part of the experience of Dark Souls 2.
Oh no, my mic's running out. So
a lot of the places you see here are lit by simple torches. Well, I lit those torches from campfires. And why I can honestly say that I did have a bit of a tougher time getting used to Dark Souls 2 at the start, more so than I did Dark Souls or Elden Ring. I did grow to love it, kind of like an abusive lover that you stick with just because, you know, the undercover loving is great, right? I'll take my beatings and I'll love it every second of it. Dark Souls 2, in a way, is when I really start to love Dark Souls as a franchise of its own. Not just Souls like it's in general, but, you know, this is where I started to feel like I was getting my feet wet. That I was finally getting into the groove of things and finally learning these games and having less of a harder time. But it is, after all, a new kind of hill to climb. It's its own beast. Another thing about it was the amount of NPC evasions as well that you have that I liked about Dark Souls 2 that you fight against. Yeah, the red ghosts, right? Which aren't always all other players, but another thing I liked about all these games is the ghost itself. Like if you touch one of these bloodstains here, which I'm gonna show right here, you see the ghosts of everybody who died that was that left a bloodstain in that area, which can lead to some kind of funny moments. I didn't mention that last time, so I wanted to include it this time. Dark Souls really has that cool vibe going. as well as Elden Ring and all the others. The bloodstains
Don't fight
are just
harder,
part of
fight
it.
smarter,
It
right?
reminded me that while I'm alone in Dark Souls 2 and other games, that
Hmm.
I'm never truly suffering alone. You know, these
That looks
bloodstains and ghosts that you
ominous.
see in the game of other players, it's a reminder that you're not alone. We're all alone together, which is kind of an interesting philosophy if you think about it. A rabbit hole of its own, right? Mentally, anyway. So let's get into some more footage before I continue babbling on here. As I was talking about the PvP and the NPC invaders, I found this a really cool touch to the game as a whole because it happened usually surprisingly. Like when you encounter one for your first time, you're like, "Oh no, I'm being invaded, man!" But it's just another NPC, just a little tougher, maybe. They they try to do a good job of making sure that these things people feel like other people, other humans, and sometimes they come up in the worst possible areas, but that's the nature of Dark Souls too. They seem to like to really show off that they can swarm you. And it's difficult to you know to get around it. Like Dark Souls 1, you could probably just straight up run pretty easily without dying to most boss fights. And in Elden Ring, it didn't really matter because the bonfire was usually right there by the boss anyway. But Dark Souls 2 made me realize what people were saying about runbacks. Oh man, the runbacks. It's treacherous. I've literally despawned enemies, killing them so many times they didn't spawn anymore, just to ensure that I could get a free path to the boss. And we've all done it. Don't lie. Don't act like you're like, oh, I was Mr. Big Shot when I first tried it. And like, no, you weren't. We all struggled with Dark Souls, but that's why we love it, right? It's that masochistic feeling of like getting spanked by your favorite video game. I wish I could say that some other way that feels good, but no, not really. But Dark Souls 2 also, at the end of the day, was the one I tried to go completely guideless. I mean, Elden Ring, for the most part, I just Googled as I needed to. But when I needed to know basic things, my first run through. But Dark Souls 2 was one of the first ones I really didn't bother. I figured I learned enough. I can get around. I can explore. I can figure this out, right? And that what came with that was a level of satisfaction of beating Dark Souls 2 that I didn't get with Dark Souls 1 or even Dark Souls 3 really. I mean, Dark Souls 3 to me felt a little shorter, but at the same time it was a lot more fun combat wise. Um a lot of people talk about the hitboxes of Dark Souls 2. That's just an excuse for not getting good. No, just kidding. It's, I mean, adaptability is its own thing, and I can kind of see what they were going with it. They were trying to make it combat more interesting and less predictable, right? A lot of people with criticisms of Dark Souls 1 were all saying that, like, you know, you just could roll through, right? You just needed that Havel's ring and some half decent gear, and you could roll through anything, easy peasy, right? Wait be darned. But with adaptability, it kind of made that not always a guarantee. Sometimes you will, in fact, die to kind of wonky hitboxes. And it's not really the hitboxes themselves, it's just sometimes the delay of it. Or I noticed that with the 60 frames per second, that the degrading of items happens quite a bit faster than I noticed on the what was it, PS3. So yeah, it it definitely feels like a different game, but you know it's part of the Dark Souls universe, so you kind of like it anyway. And I won't say it's my favorite or anywhere near the top, but you know, saying Dark Souls 2 is the worst Dark Souls game of the three isn't implying that it's a bad game, right? It's a great game. Some people swear by it, and I respect those people, man. Dark Souls 2 is just a kind of a beast for me that, like, everything I didn't like about it was annoying, but everything I did like about it was completely solid, right? So I kind of have a love hate relationship with it. But let me know what you think in the comments, and subscribe if you haven't already, and like the video if you're into Souls-like content. That's half my content right there, doing Souls-likes, because I want to engage with the Souls-like community. I want to know what you guys think of these games. Um, did you beat Dark Souls 2? What was your favorite boss? What were your gripes? Man, are you a hitbox person that is all like, I couldn't get in my hit in, or I so rolled through that kind of feels? Or did Dark Souls 2 touch you in that special place? Show me on this Dark Souls doll where. No, just kidding. Show me on this Ronnie doll. Really? No, just kidding. Anyways, like I said, let me know what you think. And I'd like to do more content like this in the future. And I will. Next, I'll do Bloodborne. And I'll reminisce about my first times with that. Like, I wish I could say that there was more memories to Dark Souls 2 that, like, were genuinely limited to Dark Souls 2 and not, like, you know, the genre as a whole that I haven't already said. I just think these games are super cool. I love it. And I hope you guys do too. And I look forward to every year doing the Return to From Software events. So do be on the lookout for that. And I'll see you next time, right? And thanks for watching. I super appreciate all of you. I had one of my most popular streams the other day. It was great with Spider-Man 2. And tomorrow I'll be doing a surprise, I suppose. I'll be just kind of, you know, playing something that's a surprise to even me right now. I have a plan, but I don't have a plan. I'm just kidding. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays are when I'll stream. And June 10th is our next Return to From Software game event. And that'll be Dark Souls 3 as we return to, I believe, Lothric. So that'll be exciting. Or maybe. Dark Souls 3 has been a while, and that's one I haven't beaten all but 3 times, maybe. So that'll be a treat to get my teeth kicked in again with Dark Souls 3, and it'll give me good footage to use in a video just like this one. So, see you next time, guys. Super appreciate y'all. And look out for more topic videos in the future. Thanks for chilling with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe and watch videos from Foxx Play Gaming.